I'm Wendy Baker, and along with many other representatives from Champlain Valley Business and Professional Women, welcome you tonight to the Meet the Candidates event. Tonight's event is being co-hosted this year by the Adirondack Young Professionals. We have Tyler and Elliot, wave over there on the side. They will be sitting around to questions and helping Tom with the evening. So we wanted to start the evening with a little something special before we turn it over to Tom. By all memories here, this is Tom's 10th year facilitating that for us. And so we have a little presentation for him in thanks for his volunteering of his time to bring together communities and candidates in respectful traditions of fairness and appreciation for just the civic engagement that we are so very lucky to be able to engage in our communities. So for 10 years of volunteer service in your role as moderator, we thank you very much. And without further ado, we'll turn the evening over to our esteemed moderator.
Thank you, Wendy. That's very kind of you. Thank you, everyone. Has it been 10 years? I appreciate that. I really, really enjoy this because I so firmly believe that these are so important, to have a chance to meet the candidates, to have productive dialogue, and that's why I'm so happy to volunteer and do this every single year. So we have a number of candidates here tonight. We're going to go right on the ballot. We're going to start on the left and work our way over. We're going alphabetically and by the party, and so that's how we're going to determine who's going first tonight. We'll do it right off the ballot, courtesy of the Board of Elections in Clinton County. And I do want to welcome you. As Wendy said, we are so happy to have Adirondack Young Professionals co-hosting with us. Elliot and Tyler will be picking up your questions when you're done and getting them to me. We have invited the candidates from several races within the city and town of Plattsburgh to participate tonight. The candidates are going to have 3 minutes to introduce themselves to the audience, and then after we hear from all of the candidates, we're going to open it up to questions from you, our audience. So what we're going to do is the candidates will speak to you, then we'll take a few questions from the audience for those candidates while they're right here, and then we'll move on to the next race. So we are going to get things started. Once again, fill out the questions. If you didn't get the cards or a pen, right up at the front desk, and you can get your questions filled out. So I am going to have this. I will keep time for the candidates over here, and we will get the evening started, and we want to thank everybody for being here tonight. So with that, we begin with Clinton County Family Court Judge and the Democratic and Working Families candidate, Amy Asadorian Senecal. You can walk with the microphone. The radio station and the television station would love it if you folks stay here and speak into all the mics, but if you're a mover and you have to walk, then we get it. So whatever you feel.
We'll see.
And we will mention there is a TV camera here tonight from Mountain Lake PBS. Within a couple of days, we'll have all of this posted on our website. So, okay. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for doing this. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Amy Asadorian Senecal, and I'm running for the position of Family Court Judge. I'm running on the Democratic line and the Working Family line. I grew up here in Plattsburgh, New York, and married my husband, Tim, who's over there. We celebrated our 29th anniversary this past weekend, and we have 2 grown children. Our daughter, Kelsey, lives in Detroit, works for the Detroit Lions, so she's not with us tonight. And our son, Mitchell, is finishing up, I think, a local football practice. He's a coach, a physical education teacher, and teaches locally in this area. I'm running for Family Court Judge because my entire career has prepared me for this job. I came back to Plattsburgh in 1991-92 after graduating from law school, Boston University, graduated college at Williams College, and graduated Plattsburgh High School. When I came back, I joined the firm of Asadorian and Johnston with my dad, Era Asadorian, and Stephen Johnston, who's still a practicing attorney here in town. I did that for about 10 years, practiced in a variety of areas, concentrated in family law, practiced in Clinton County, Franklin County, and Essex County. In 2001, I had the opportunity to begin my career in family court. The then judge and now retired Judge Tim Lawless asked me to be his court attorney, and I began my 18-year career as the court attorney in Clinton County Family Court. I have extensive knowledge in every case that's heard in family court. I'm happy to have that discussion more individually outside of these 3 minutes after with anybody that would like to have that. Over those 18 years, I was on the planning and implementation team of the Clinton County Treatment Court and the Clinton County Integrated Domestic Violence Court. I also, as part of my tenure and part of my role as a court attorney, I conference thousands of cases, trying to help facilitate resolutions for parties that come before court, letting them be heard, letting them have a voice in how those resolutions are done. After those 18 years, which involved just so much more extensive work in family court, I was appointed to be the current support magistrate in Clinton County Family Court. The appointment actually in 2019 involved my hearing the Clinton County docket and the Franklin County docket. I'm currently assigned to the Clinton County docket. I hear and determine the child support, paternity, and spousal support cases in Clinton County Family Court. One of the things I do take pride in is I continue the desire to have people heard. I've carried the skill set I took over from conferencing cases over the 18 years as a court attorney, and I try to mediate and facilitate resolutions wherever possible as now the presiding magistrate in family court hearing these cases. I do so because I think when people have a voice in the outcome, they all feel better about it when they leave. When that can't happen and people can't reach an agreement, I do make the decisions. I apply the laws fairly and justly, and I try to resolve all the issues. In that role, again, I've heard thousands of cases in the almost now 4 years I've served in that position. That's who I am. I appreciate everyone coming tonight. I had a lot of thank yous, and I didn't start with them. Not my strong suit up here. I want to thank the organizers of the event tonight for doing this a wonderful event. I want to thank you for moderating tonight. I want to thank MHAB for this great facility. We meet here every Wednesday for Rotary. They do a fabulous job. I want to thank my families and friends who came out here tonight. And I know it's not perhaps the purpose tonight, but my husband has been just unbelievably supportive, encouraging, and patient, and helpful during this entire process. So I'd be remiss if I didn't thank him personally. Thank you all.
And now please welcome the Republican and Conservative Party candidate for Clinton County Family Court Judge, Hillary Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. I want to first thank the Champlain Valley Business and Professional Women and the Adirondack Young Professionals for hosting this event. We're very short. All right. That's okay. For those of you who don't know me, I was born and raised in Clinton County. I grew up in Keysville. I went to AuSable Valley High School. Back then, I went by the name of Hillary Stanley. Now I'm Hillary Rogers. My husband, who's sitting in the back, and I have 2 children. One is 9 and one is 11. They go to AuSable Forks Elementary School. I have been practicing for about 17 years. I have a diverse background in what I've done and what I bring to the table. I'm currently the Chief Assistant Public Defender for the county. I handle a large caseload of high-level felonies as well as supervise 15 employees, 8 of which are attorneys. I am the only candidate that has served in multiple capacities. I have served as a prosecutor, a defense attorney. I've served as a family court attorney, an attorney for the child. I also worked for the Attorney General's office, and I handled some statewide initiatives while at the Attorney General's office. I have found in my years of practicing law and representing thousands of clients that a lot of people just don't trust the system. They don't trust how the system has evolved at the point we are now. They feel that they aren't heard. They feel that they don't trust the process. And when people trust the process, they trust the outcome a little bit better. I will bring some compassion, fairness, and respect to all individuals who are in the courtroom with me. I think that it's important that we remember, and oftentimes it's forgotten, that regardless of people's situations, they're human beings. Every single person who walks into the courtroom, from the attorneys who are practicing to the individuals who are bringing their cases or defending their cases, are all human beings. They all have feelings, they all have emotions. I've also had experience on each side of the table, as a prosecutor, as a defense attorney, as a parent, attorney, as an attorney for the child. It gives me the unique perspective that I'm able to evaluate cases from both sides. I can say, here are the good and the bad of my side. Here are the good and the bad of the other side. This allows me to connect with my client and for them to understand the process of what's going on and why they may not be getting the outcomes that they want to get. I approach, and I will approach being a judge just like I approach everything else, compassionately and fairly. My experience representing these clients, my clients, both in family court and criminal court, have given me the ability to partner with community entities. I work with the Imminent Risk Task Force for Clinton County. I work with law enforcement. I work with Clinton County Mental Health and Addiction Services, BHSN, NAMI, and handling cases that are sensitive. People who have addictions, people who are living with mental health disorders, not everything is straightforward. Sometimes we need out-of-the-box solutions. One other thing that has given me the experience and the ability to become a fair and impartial judge and to sit in judgment is I was appointed by the Appellate Division in the 3rd Department to sit and evaluate when law students graduate whether or not they have the moral capacity and the requisite morals to become an attorney. And thank you, everybody, and I'm here to talk with anybody afterwards as well.
Okay, should I try to move the mic, or is the audio okay? Good. That's great about this room. The acoustics are nice, and that makes it great. So we're going to invite both of the candidates back up. I have one question to begin with. I suspect there may be some more that come in.
I have some more too.
Tonight, so I will go over those, and while we start, Amy, if you would be so kind, we'll start with you.
Sure.
I'll be for touch.
Okay. And we know, come right on up. Yeah, and Hillary as well. And we'll have you both go one at a time. We know that your questions for judges are a little bit limited, so we will be careful in what we ask you. But the first question was, what prior skills, and I know you both touched on this a little bit in your opening statements, but what prior skills can you transfer from your previous jobs to this position if elected? And why don't you go first, and 90 seconds.
Well, I think working presently backwards, I'm hearing cases every day now in family court. I think the skill set of determining these cases, especially I don't want to get into the weeds too much, but in child support court, we have a lot of individuals that come into court without attorneys. And so I've sat for the last almost 4 years in a unique position of making sure that these individuals have an opportunity to be heard, to get their cases before me without the assistance of attorneys, to make sure that the information that I need to be fair to them and to apply the laws is gathered. And I think that I've worked very hard. I almost can tell the minute 2 people walk in the door whether or not I'm going to be able to settle their case. I can feel it. I know when someone needs to be listened to. I know when they need to be heard. And I feel like if I let them talk about a little bit what they want to talk about, then I can facilitate something within the confines of the law, of course, that they both walk out with at least feeling that they both had an opportunity to be heard. I mean, 90 seconds, I was in private practice for 10 years. I litigated cases. I went through the training to be an attorney for the child. I was an attorney for the child. I represented criminal defendants. I represented individuals in private cases. My first 10 years, you know, when you're a general practitioner, you practice in a lot of areas. And so that as well. But it's a short, a lot more, but I'll leave it at that.
Hillary. Same question for you. What prior skills can you transfer from your previous jobs to this position if elected?
Thank you. I manage a very high caseload. I manage a large staff. I think that those skills that I've learned from representing thousands of clients as well as managing these offices, the family court is a sensitive area and people need resolution in family court as well. So I think being able to manage time management, manage people, manage skills, and also still be able to sit back, take a minute, see what's actually going on with the situation, that will translate into me being able to reduce the stress and the trauma and the instability that family court and the conflict in family court creates. Also, I was previously a collaborator for divorce mediation when I was in private practice, so I've had experience in negotiating my entire life, right? So my entire career I've been negotiating. I negotiate with my kids at home. I negotiate with my clients, you know, but being able to sit back and listen to someone and listen to my clients and hear that they need a question answered and take the time to answer the question, that will also translate into being an effective and compassionate judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary. Amy? We'll ask a few more questions and then we'll get back to a few more if we can't get to them all. If more resources were available for the family court, which services do you feel need addition or additional attention?
Well, I mean, when you're the judge in family court, of course, you work with the cases that come before you and you work with the litigants. I mean, there's definitely a need for attorneys in this area that practice family law. There's definitely a need for more attorneys for the children. We have a great attorney for the children office, and they have 2 attorneys there. But first and foremost, there's just not a huge bar that are practicing family law in this area. And recently there's been some changes to who can qualify for free legal assistance. And so it's a many more people are going to qualify now, and there's just a limited bar here. So I would say first and foremost, if we had an hour, I could go through an entire discussion of what it was like to be on the team from the start of the family court treatment court forward. And then you work you work all the time, every week in the weekly meetings with all of the other resources available in the community. Employment resources. You have people who, they're economically fragile, and it causes all sorts of issues with regard to transportation, with regard to the ability to make appointments, with regard to the ability to get their children to and from different appointments. So there's all sorts of resources in the community that there's a lot of people in this room that I know and see that know a lot more about that. But when we work on the drug court and resources with regard to substance abuse, mental health issues, economic issues, we had a component with regard to what older people call GED. It's not called that anymore, but education and ongoing education, employment. We had team members that dealt with employment. And so all resources to benefit the people whose families may be struggling would be just the tip of what would be needed.
Thank you. Hillary? Same question. If more resources were available for the family court, which services do you feel need addition or more attention?
Thank you. I also agree that the place where I would put more resources is the family court treatment court. This treatment court in the last few years has definitely dwindled in numbers. The availability for this treatment court to the participants in family court and the families in family court has decreased. So I think I would put my resources towards the treatment court, family court, in family court. And the reason why is because it brings it down to a ground level perspective. You are able to not be so wound up in court. So you can walk into a room and you can feel comfortable with the people you're there. You can walk into a room of people you know and be completely uncomfortable. Going into the family court in a position where it could be the worst day of your life, that's nerve-wracking. And you may not be able to get to everything you want to say, or may not be able to address all of your needs properly in the 15 minutes that you're allocated during your court appearance. And so I think that being able to take it down to a ground level, give more intensive case management to these individuals who need them in order to be able to keep their families together and be able to work towards a better family unit. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll do one more question. And actually, Amy, we'll go right in the same order,
Okay.
so come right on. Thank you so much. And a number of these questions that we have asked much the same. How would you improve upon the current court? And I know that we just talked about if you had additional resources, what you would do, but how would you improve upon the current court system and the current court if that you would be taking over?
Well, there's currently, as you know, another judge primarily, and some other judges that have taken over the family court load because the position has not been filled. So first thing, January 1st, there'd be a family court judge there. There will be a family court judge there. And the cases will go before that family court judge that come in. In terms of the structure of the court system, in the 23 years I've been there now, I've been involved in many conversations, the first 18 with the former judge, and now myself. Every day I try to work on ways that the calendar can be improved. From making sure that litigants, when they have an appearance, I work very hard not to change that appearance date and time. I work very hard to make sure that if their cases in the morning, their cases in the morning. I work very hard because people make, people, when someone says they have a case on November 1st, and watch me just pick a Saturday, but November 1st, November 7th, if someone has no, that's an election day, November 8th, I forget we get election day off, I'm usually there, I forget we get it off. And November 8th, somebody they've taken the day off, they've gotten a babysitter, they've arranged for a car, they've done all of these things to make sure that they're available to come to court that day. I take that very seriously, and what I'm going to keep trying to do is improve the courts, like we all do that work there every day, to make sure that people get their cases heard, they get them heard on time, the decisions are done on time, they're done fairly. If there's processes that make people work in family court, and that's a stressful place to work. And so to make sure that the people that work in family court feel valued and feel heard, it's hard to speak about your own character and your own self, but I would invite anybody to speak with the people I work with, and I haven't talked to them about it, but I think I try very hard to make sure they feel valued every day at work. So there's the people that come to court, and there's the people that work in court, and every day improvements can be made, just like I'm sure they can be made in everybody's jobs.
Thank you. Thank you. Hillary? Same question. How would you improve upon the court that you take over?
Thank you. Over the last couple of months, and really over the last 17 years as well, I've had a lot of conversation with community partners. I've talked with the Director of Community Services, the Commissioner of Social Services, individuals who are at ground level, and attorneys who practice in both family court and the other court systems in the county level, and at Supreme Court as well. Like what works and what doesn't work. Everybody says there are certain things about the way different courts have been run that are good and are bad, right? And so what I plan to do is take a little bit of everything, right, and try and work it together. One of the things I think that's important is holding people accountable. At this point in time, a lot of the criticism of family court that I hear is that cases go on forever and that there's no resolution, and this causes instability and more stress and more trauma for the children. So I think that holding parents accountable, holding attorneys accountable, holding myself accountable for making sure that there is an efficient and streamlined process to get these cases heard are important, and to make sure that people are doing what they're saying they're supposed to be doing and hold people accountable. So that is the first step, is holding people accountable, including myself, to reduce the stress, the trauma, and the instability for the family unit. Thank you.
And thank you both. We have a couple more questions, but what we'll do, if it's okay, is we're going to bring up some of the other candidates, and we'll come back to you because I suspect we'll have a few more questions coming in as well. And that's also a little ploy we use to get folks to stick around. All right, thank you both. Now let's move on to our candidates for county clerk in Clinton County. The first name on the ballot is Democratic and Working Families candidate Brandy Lloyd.
First, I'd like to thank the Champlain Business and Professional Women and also the Adirondack Young Professionals for hosting this event tonight. Our moderator, Tom Halleck, and thanks to all of you for being here. My name is Brandy Lloyd. Recently turned 50 years old, so now that I've gotten a look at all of you in order to see my notes, it's gotta wear the glasses. I live in Morris with my husband. We've been married for 27 years. We have one son. His name is Ben, and he's finishing up his senior year at St. Lawrence University. I myself graduated from Clinton Community College and then went on to SUNY Plattsburgh. I actually met my husband at Clinton Community College, and we got married a few months after I graduated from Plattsburgh State. I held my first elected position in 2013. I was the town clerk tax collector in the town of Morris. In 2016, I was appointed the deputy commissioner at the Board of Elections, and I've been there now for just over 7 years. County clerk has been the plan since about 2014. A few people know that I started having discussions with them in regards to how to make that happen. I considered running in 2019, but the timing wasn't quite right for me. But this year it is 100% right, and it is time for change. As your county clerk, I look forward to modernizing the DMV, returning to being open later, at least one night a week, in both the DMV and the clerk's office to better serve you. My time at the Board of Elections, working with state laws, and sometimes we had 20 new state laws just in 1 year, along with state mandates, has prepared me to be your county clerk. Training just a little bit about the job and my favorite parts being the deputy commissioner. I love training, hiring, and scheduling the poll inspectors. Despite this time I have some coworkers in the room where I feel like pulling my hair out, it still remains my favorite part. It's like a chess game going on over here, a couple chess games over here, but in the process I get to know the over 100 elections inspectors that we hire, and I enjoy getting to know them and their preferences, where they like to work, who they like to work with, their favorite snacks. And I look forward to applying that to the team at the DMV and at the clerk's office. I look forward to being part of the team there and working with them shoulder to shoulder.
A little bit closer.
Okay.
There we go.
I promise to bring a new energy, fresh perspective, a spirit of teamwork to the clerk's office, and I will make county clerk my full-time priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you.
Now, I'll try to move the mic a little earlier. Please, if you're having a hard time hearing, just say, could you get the mic a little closer, and we'll make sure to do that. And now the Republican and Conservative Party candidate, John Zerlo.
Morning, Tom.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
3 minutes, sir. 3 minutes.
3 minutes? Good evening, everyone. Sandy, thanks for inviting me this evening. Appreciate the invite. First of all, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Graduated from St. Michael's College, returned to Champlain, was a teacher for 34 years and department head. I was chair of the business education department. I was elected tax collector for 11 straight terms, 22 years. I was a county legislator for 3 terms. There were 2-year terms then, 6 years. And I've been the county clerk for 28 years. Very active in community affairs. Was on 3 boards, CVPH Medical Center Board for 7 years. Currently president of the St. Mary's Mission Center Board, and currently on the board of the St. Michael's College alumni. Been very active in the community. Served on many committees. Currently at the county, I am the United Way coordinator for the county employees. I'm the Northern Tier Salvation Army coordinator for Christmas donations. Recipient of several awards. Woodman of the Year Award for community service. Distinguished DeWitt Quitton Award from the Masonic Lodge for community service. And together with my wife, we were king and queen of the Mardi Gras, Behavioral Health Services North Mardi Gras, Northern Tier Chamber of Commerce Winter Carnival, and the CVPH medical, I guess it was a heart ball. Enough about myself. In the county clerk's office, when I came 28 years ago, the revenue was $650,000. I've got it up to $2.6 million. We're one of the cash cows for the county. You might say, well, inflation did that. No, inflation didn't do that at all. My predecessor, over 40 years ago, got 12.7% for everything he did in the DMV office. Today, we still get 12.7%. However, Governor Hochul is going to boost that up in January. How do we do that? Well, I instituted a high-tech system for recording documents. When I got there, when you recorded a deed, it took 8 weeks to get that deed back to the person who submitted it for recording. Today, with this high-tech system that we've got of recording documents, we return that deed the same day it was recorded. Unbelievable. Where else does the money come from? I instituted a motor vehicle use fee. It's a small charge, $5 a year when you registered your car, $10 for a 2-year registration. Since 2002, I have given the county treasurer $2.6 million. I'm sorry, $9.6 million. $9.6 million collected from the motor vehicle use fee. What does the county do with that money? They apply it toward the real property tax. So you're paying $5 a year for the motor vehicle use tax, but you're getting about $7 a year off your property tax. And not only property owners are involved with this. Everybody that drives an automobile, might be a renter, he's helping to pay this bill too. So everybody's paying their fair share now. New York State changed the gun keeper laws. We're up to date with that. We have a modern gun keeper office. Remember years ago, some of you are maybe gun keepers, you had a piece of paper that you put on your wallet, got all smashed up. Now it's all done by credit card. Your guns are listed on the card. I instituted that.
Thank you, John.
Yes.
Thank you.
Am I done?
You were done for right now. We have questions coming your way, so,
Okay.
yes.
I got a lot more to say.
I suspect the first question is going to give you the chance to do that. Brandy, come right back up if you would.
I might also say that our office now is open 24/7. If you want a copy of your deed at 2 in the morning, small fee, you can get it. So these are all things that I instituted over the years. We're as high-tech as any county in the state of New York.
Thank you, sir. And if you'll stay right up here,
Yep.
John. And Brandy, first question, and this touches on what both of you were talking about. You can expand on what you were talking about. What are the duties of the county clerk? And for folks that may not be aware of everything that you do.
The keeper of the deeds of the county clerk. Also, you can apply for your notary license. As John mentioned, the epistle permits are through that office as well. They also keep the important documents of the Supreme Court and the county court. And so they are the keeper of all the records for our county, which is very important. And I'm sure when John started, he didn't know everything that the clerk's office did, but I promised him a quick learner. You can ask Mary, and I'll have that down.
Thank you. John, same question. You've talked on some of them, the duties of the county clerk.
I think Randy ran it off my phone card. The county clerk is the clerk of the Supreme and County Courts as well. Chief notary of the county. Chief record keeper for deeds, mortgages. Also responsible for the DMV office. The DMV office is run by the state of New York. Many people think it's run by the county of Clinton. It's not. It's run by the state of New York. We follow all their rules. The motor vehicle use, it's all their computers. People say, well, why don't you hire more people in there? We can't. We're given so many slots in DMV. New York DMV gives us a computer for each of our employees that they feel are required for the size of our county. We're at maximum. And I begged and begged for one more computer, but they will not give it to us. So we're under their jurisdiction. Yeah, we also do passports. We do gun keeper rules, as I mentioned a little while ago, and we've updated all of those. As far as passports are concerned, years ago we'd have to send a person out of the office go and get a picture. And the local photographers didn't like to take passport pictures because that'd be cut of a certain size. We bought our own camera, we do it ourselves, make 12 bucks a picture. And people, we don't have to send them out of the office and have to come back.
Thank you, John. Next question for both of you, if you'll stay right here. County legislators are termed out after 3 4-year terms. County judges are also termed out when they hit 70. Should it be the same for county clerk? Brady, we'll start with you.
Term limits is a hot point right from the national level down. I definitely think it's something that should be explored. Maybe when the office, you become complacent to what is happening in the office, it might be time then for the voters to make that decision, that it's time for someone new in the office. I'm not against term limits in any way, and I look forward to the legislators having that discussion.
John, same question.
My predecessor, Bernard Emel, served 3-year terms when he was in office, but the Clinton County Legislature, by resolution, changed that to a 4-year term. So I have no control over that. Board of Legislators do that. As far as term limits are concerned, I'm not in favor of them because I wouldn't be in office anymore. But I've had a great career as county clerk. We're still making progress. We've got a lot more to do, and that's why I'd like to run for one more term.
All right, and we have one more question for both of you. Before we let you go, what is the biggest challenge facing the county and the county clerk's office? Brady, we'll start with you. Biggest challenge.
The feedback I receive most from employees of and people that visit is the DMV office is time for that to be updated. There needs to be longer hours, as we discussed. There used to be pre-pandemic. Before the pandemic, also, they're about at half of the amount of employees that they have. If we could increase that, we could do hours from 8 to 4, and then have some of the staff stay from 9 to 5, and so that would not increase at all the budget of the DMV and paying the employees. So increasing that, and then also looking to modernize. Most of the county clerk's offices have kiosks where you can perform simple transactions with the ease of knowing that there are the employees there to help you, the clerk's there to help you if you need it. So you can walk right in, take care of maybe returning that license plate. Also, it would be important to, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I also think it would be important, in addition to extra staff, into looking into the clerk's office too for the extra staff and staying open later, but 100% the DMV needs to be improved. That's the complaints that you see all online and on Facebook, and I look forward to helping them do that.
Thank you, Brandy. John, the biggest challenge for the county and for the county clerk's office?
Well, I like the challenge what Brandy said about the DMV office. We can't hire any more employees. Number one, got to get through the personnel committee and then the county legislature. And we are given slots. Our slots are filled. We can't even get another computer from the state of New York, so what are you going to do with another employee? Be twiddling his thumbs. And we're not that busy anymore. We do a lot online. One of Kathy Hochul's new laws is that in January, she's going to pay us 10.75% for the work we do in our office, a little bit less than a 12.7. But instead of the 2% that we get online, she's going to pay us 10.75% for that too. So a lot of people are doing it online, and we don't care because we're going to make the same amount more revenue. We're going to make about $100,000 more this year because of that law. One of the important things that face the county clerk's office is our maps. Our maps are in deplorable condition. Some maps are way back from the 1700s, and they've got to be redone. Right now, I'm working on a grant to pay for that because the taxpayers can't pick up that fee. We're only doing a portion of the maps that we have in the office, and the latest quote I got was over $100,000. So that's one of the important things that we have to do. Another thing is that I want to backfile more. Backfiling means that you take the records that you've got on hand, scan them into our computer system so that people can have more years to do genealogies and research. And as well as the abstractors, they can go back a little bit further.
Thank you.
So-
Good. Thank you. And thank you both. We may have a few more questions in a few minutes, but thank you so much. We now move on to the Clinton County Legislature and the Area 5 seat, the 5th district covering the town of Schuyler Falls, the town of Peru, any other towns? Schuyler Falls and Peru. And Plattsburgh. Please welcome the Democratic and 5 First Party candidate, Rick Hazen. You have 3 minutes. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rick Hazen. I was born and raised in the North Country. I started off, our family was from Peru, and we moved to Plattsburgh so that my dad could be much closer to his business. He was a business owner. He started on Lower Bridge Street in Plattsburgh and finally moved up to Clinton Street, where he had a very, very successful music business for over 30 years. And during those times, as I was growing up, I spent many hours with him working and learning the business qualities and stuff you need to be a business type of person. After graduating from MAI, I went to Paul Smith College, where I studied in business forestry management, believe it or not. Business as far as learning the operations of forestry and what you would do with that. So that was quite an honor and skill. After that, I met the love of my wife Sandy Hazen, 49 years. We got married 2 years after she graduated from high school, and we've been in here ever since. I've got a daughter and a son, and a very proud grandson, and we're very honored to call our own. My first career movement was right into business. I started off with a large retail drug company. Went after that 20 years with a successful paint company, National Paint Company here in the North Country. From there, as downsizing as the base left and things happened, I ended up going to a municipal emergency services, which is a very large fire sales company, the largest one in North America, where I spent my entire balance of my career. I retired back in March after 49 years in the business world, working with a lot of different people. Some of my accomplishments here in the North Country, I've been a volunteer firefighter until recently for 43 years. 28 years I spent with District 3 Fire Department, where I was honored with the Firefighter of the Year Award. In 2000, I was honored with Clinton County Firefighter of the Year Award. In 2018, I was honored by Saranac Lake for what they call the Preston Barnes Valor and Community Service Award, which they only give out once in a great while. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award for assisting them. And that goes back to my community service, where for the past 30 years I've sat on the Clinton County Stop DWI Advisory Board. I've been chairman of that for 10 years. And that's a appointed position by the area legislator in your area. I also was one of the founding members of the Clinton County Firefighters Haunted House, chairman of that for 13 years. When they left the air base, they were worried about it continuing on. I was able to chair it, and over the 13 years I was in there, we raised over $100,000 for area schools for their fire prevention program. I also have been Victims Impact Panel Speaker for Clinton County Stop DWI, where if a person gets picked up for DWI, DUI, so on and so forth, they have to appear before our panel. And we do end up with 30 to 50 people per month that I speak for. I also created Project Prom in area schools back in 1994, where we teach the dangers to the students of drinking and driving under the influence. We have a mock crash on the fields, and we bring in the students out there along with all the fire departments. It's been very successful. Currently, I speak at 12 to 16 schools per year on this. And there's a lot more involved, but thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rick. Continuing now with the 5th District seat for County Legislator in Clinton County, please welcome the Republican candidate, Kevin Randall. I'll give you a few extra seconds to get.
All right. So I apologize, but I'm going to read this because if I talk normally, I will go way too long. So this will hopefully keep me on message. I know Chucky Mike will agree there. They've heard me talk before. All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Kevin Randall. I'm the Republican candidate for the Area 5 legislator. All right. I'm 58 years old. I graduated from Saranac Central School and I studied at Clinton Community College for criminal justice. I've been married to my wife, April, for 30 years. We've raised 2 beautiful children. One's a city cop, my daughter, Chelsea, and my son is a union pipe fitter welder. At the age of 23, I started my career with the New York State Department of Corrections. After 9 years, I achieved training officer and instructor certified by MPTC, Municipal Police Training Council, and DCJS, Department of Criminal Justice Services. I worked in that position for 14 years, training staff at the facility. I was promoted to the rank of sergeant and then to lieutenant watch commander, where I learned management skills. I retired from that job after 31 plus years in December of 2021. I was elected to the office of town supervisor of Scholar Falls in November of 2020. And I will complete my second term in that office on December of 31st of this year. As town supervisor, I've had the opportunity to learn many important government management duties. Responsibility of taxpayers' funds being the first and foremost. As the 5th largest town, my residents enjoy the 2nd lowest property tax rate in Clinton County. I've created and overseen multiple large projects. Some include a new recreation park, 4 water infrastructure projects, a total LED light conversion of all street lights, and a new splash pad that will be constructed this spring. Just to name a few. I have fostered over $9 million of grants and funds in 4 short years and overseeing the intense, never-ending paperwork to help pay for those projects. I have had oversight of multiple departments and payrolls as the chief financial officer of a town. I have approved fair and balanced budgets. I am a big supporter of community events. I find that most residents love the ability to enjoy social activities. I have hosted many, such as Music in the Park and, of course, our Winter Festival. I believe they are vital to our youth and connect our family to our North Country communities. I look forward to bringing new community events to the residents of Clinton County. I've been a volunteer firefighter for the Morrisville Fire Department for 36 years and I've held multiple office positions, including chief and training officer, certified by New York State National. I turn my attention to the race. My vision and why I am running for Area 5 legislator. I believe it is very important to attract and retain business in Clinton County. When business does well, we all do well. They create job growth and, most importantly, lower our property taxes. Lowering taxes encourages people to live and move in the area. They seek jobs, build homes, raise families, attend our schools, and shop at our local stores. This will continue growth of our communities and of Clinton County as a whole. I'd like to say this first. I will work hard to achieve these goals. You will always have a strong voice within me. My door will always be open. My phone will always be awaiting your call. And finally, I will work diligently to try to help you with any problem or concern that you may bring to my attention. Remember, I am your voice. You will always be heard. I work for you. Thank you very much, everybody, for showing up, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak here.
Thank you, Kevin. Are you going to be okay standing up here waiting for questions?
Sure.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Rick, come on up, and we've got some questions for both of you gentlemen. First question is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of a board of supervisors instead of a county legislature? We'll let you take that first. Minute 30.
Right, that's a very good question. I guess the thing is with the county legislators, they are elected from each area, where supervisors, from what I've seen in the past, have a different look and value to what we're looking into. I'm all for the county legislator system, and I think it would be an advantage to keep that.
Thank you. Kevin? Same question. Advantages and disadvantages of a board of supervisors instead of a county legislature.
Okay, so many counties do use town supervisors as their board rather than electing legislators. The one nice thing about having town supervisors as county legislators are they're very in tune with what's going on with their own communities, and it's a real good way to get feedback at the county level so that you're working in unison with both. I have no problem with the current system as elected legislators, as long as those elected legislators listen to the town, listen to the residents, and find out what they need. How can we help them? That will be my major concern and what my job will be as the Area 5 Clinton County legislator. So, yeah, there's definitely distinct differences there.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Next question. How can the county prepare to increase availability of affordable housing, especially in the event of an influx of new residents, including migrants, moving into the state? Affordable housing.
I think that's a very good question. Something that needs to be definitely addressed is the fact that we don't have that much available. It seems like housing is getting harder to come by every day. We have to work with our state officials and higher ups and see where we can end up with this, because let's face it, that's one of our major things that's happening now is we have to address that issue. So working, the county legislators, obviously working with the higher ups at the state level, whether it be our assembly people or senators, and see what we can do with that.
Great, thank you, Rick. Kevin, same question. How can the county prepare to increase availability of affordable housing, especially in the event of an influx of new residents, including migrants, moving into the state?
So migrants moving into the area is a problem for all areas around here. We do not have the housing that we need for the continued influx of those people into our area. I believe if they are going to be relocated up here, that the state and the federal government should have some subsidies and grants to help with housing to make sure that they are treated fairly and that they have a place to stay. As far as, you know, housing in the immediate area, as a town supervisor, I've watched property values so conflated over the last 3 years, especially after COVID. I mean, houses that we had assessed at 60-something thousand were selling at 180,000, over double what they were on the market or assessed at. This is a hard thing for young individuals to overcome when they're first starting a family and first starting to want to, you know, have their own home and start their lives. So, you know, good paying jobs is probably going to help with the market, but we, you know, and helping people to move into their homes. But we also have to have the ability of lower income housing to at least take care of the people that we need to. They maybe even can't take care of themselves. So it's a really tough question.
Thank you, Kevin. You gentlemen are a moderator's dream. I'll keep you up with one more question. Short and to the point, I'm going to throw in one more question. What is the biggest challenge facing Clinton County and the Clinton County legislature?
Again, that's a very good question.